Happy Saturday! It's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio, and today we are going to make these little candy corn butterflies that are paper clips that you can clip on the page of your journal. Let me grab my journal here, and I will show you. It will just clip right on there like that, and then you can stick something up under there if you want. So this is what we're gonna make, and I was inspired to do these by Louisa Heinzel. She did some candy cane birds, or candy corn birds, using a Tim Holtz die cut, and I don't have that bird die cut, so I went to my butterflies, which is one of my favorite dies that I have. And so I'm going to show you how to do these. And hopefully you guys will craft along with me and make your version. We're going to do a couple of different versions. So let's get started. Okay, whoops, knocked my glue book in the floor. The first thing that I did is I took a Tim Holtz die and I cut out, this is the die that's in the new chapter 3 set that cuts out the little journal card that fits down in the envelope. So it's in the set that has the envelope die cut in it. And I do not know right off the bat what the name of that one is. So anyway, I cut some of these, and I cut enough so that I would have one to use for the front and one to use for the back, so that when we put the paper clip on, there would be one, you know, for either side. And I did, you know, several of these. So, and then I have this is a stamp, and this is a stamp. This is just like a splatter stamp, and then this one is about autumn and fall and whatever. So I stamped it a couple times, did some splatters, and then I used white embossing powder, and on black, this is just regular black cardstock. And so that's how I got to this point. Okay. Then I took a piece of white cardstock and I made some stripes on that cardstock. I think I've got the scrap down here, the negative, so I can show you. This is just white cardstock, and I've left the top part white. I had two of these, so I left a white at the top. This is carved pumpkin, and I made a stripe with the carved pumpkin. And this is squeezed lemonade, and I made a stripe with the squeezed lemonade. And then I laid my dies, you know, on the stripes to where I thought it would give the right proportion for the colors for the candy corn, and then just cut them out. And so that's how I got my butterfly. So, and I am going to ink around this. I was going to leave it, and I like it better with the ink, and you, of course, can do either. But I think the ink around the edges brings out the detail better, and just gives it a more finished look than just leaving it. But, of course, like I said, that's totally up to you. I'm using Vintage Photo. I think you could probably also use black soot if you wanted, and it would have black around the edge, which also would look really good. And we may do one like that just so we can see what it looks like. Okay, so there is what the Vintage Photo looks like. And let's glue it together real quick, and then we'll do one with the black soot. And when I glue these together, I put a line across here, and then just a line up and down the body because I don't want the top wings to be totally glued down to the bottom wings. And I'm using art glitter glue. I'm going to try and get that straight. And like I said, then you can bend your wings up and give them, you know, some dimensions so they're not laying flat. And of course, when you put them in the journal, they'll flatten out anyway, but you can always puff them back up when you turn to that page, which is what I do when I'm going through my journal. Okay, so now let's do one with black soot. Where is the other half? And see what the difference is, what it looks like. Sorry, I've got a whole pile of little stuff there I'm working on. That's not black soot, Tammy. This is... Oops. Okay. And I'm just, you know, kind of hitting the edges a little bit. So there's the black. I like that as well. So either one, or like I said, you know, if you don't want to ink at all, that's also an option. So here is the vintage photo, and there is the black soot, where you can see the difference. And my other card that I'm going to do is in brown. So on this one, I'm going to use the black soot just so it will go together. Bend my wings up a little bit. Okay, so there is our butterfly base. Now, to glue this on, you want to take, did the wrong one. I've got embossing powder everywhere. You want to put the biggest piece on the inside of the card, which actually would be this side. Okay, and then I always use 3-in-1 glue when I do this because I want something with a little bit more tooth than art glitter glue to go over that paper clip. And you're just going to go back and forth over the paper clip and then cover all your other areas. And then make sure you don't, glue it upside down and glue your two cards together. I'm going to have to wipe this off. This embossing powder is getting on my nerves. Okay. All right, so now we've got our paper clip in place, and it can be drying while we're working on the rest. Now, all I did is I took a piece of fabric and I sewed a button onto the top of the piece of fabric. And again, the fabric choice is totally up to you. I liked this black kind of print, but you can, I've got some other options over here that I was going to show you. This is just a grungy piece of orange. You could do that if you wanted. And then, you know, maybe use an orange button or a black button. You could use some ticking. And I'll lay the butterfly on there. You could also use just some grungy kind of muslin if you wanted, like that. You could use ribbon, which I'll show you some ribbon that matches the other one that we're going to do, but it doesn't really match this one too much. So, like I said, I prefer this fabric. And I thought I had another piece already ripped, but maybe not. My little stack of stuff I got over here. Nope, so let's rip one real quick. And I think, yep. Let's do it from this side, because it's already raveled on the edge. Okay, so that is just going to go down the middle. You can leave the strings, remove the strings, whatever you do, whatever you want to do there. And I'm going to let it overhang that little bit at the bottom because I like that. Okay, and then we want a button to go at the top. And I think I'm going to use an orange one on this one. And, you know, you can use whatever color scheme that you like on these as well. You know, this one, although it says fall and whatever, you know, is more Halloween-y looking without being creepy, spooky. But you could easily use that in a fall journal or a Halloween journal, either way. So, what am I looking for? I'm looking for some thread. Let me make sure this big O thing is going to go through here. Yeah, it is. Because I've got one of my big needles out. I grabbed one of the bigger ones. I'm going to make sure it was going to pass through the button. So I want to say welcome to all my new subbies. I appreciate you following my channel, and I hope that I inspire you to make something. As well as my returning folks. All of you are very, very much appreciated. Okay, let's sew this on here real quick. I'm just going to go around it through it a couple times because I'm going to glue it anyway, so the sewing is more for looks than anything, and it would help if I'd actually stick it through the fabric. And one more time, just for good measure. And of course, like, you know, get it all tangled up on the last one. Okay. And we'll do our knot here. I'm such a neat sewer, knot. I'm just knotting it, but I have to get it closer to my face so I can actually see it. Oops. Okay, so then we're going to glue this right down the center, like that. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for that, or 3-in-1. My bottle's getting empty. All right, and then I'm going to make my little nest to go underneath my butterfly, just all this mess that's like underneath the butterfly. And for that, I have just some cheesecloth that I'm going to cut off and then pull it apart so that it shreds. It gets all nice and stringy. Like that. And then I'm going to take my black thread and I'm going to find the end first and foremost. And I'm just going to wrap it around my fingers until I get kind of a nesty looking thing. And I'm going to lay that there. So let's put some Fabri-Tac on both of those. Kind of spread it out a little bit. And once you get this on, if you figure out it's too much or think it's too much, you can just pull some of it off. And I'll show you that because I think this is going to be too much at one end there. And then I'm just going to glue my butterfly on. Like that. Bend my wings up, and I'm going to pull this right here because I think that's too much. And see, you can just pull what you want off of there. And it'll leave it nice and stringy. All right, so that is it. That simple. So I'm going to show you another version that is on a more fall colored base. And then I'm going to show you another option besides the butterfly. So for this one, we have Just file, this is file folder. Same die cut. The ink around the edge. I'm going to get the plain one that's going to go on the back. Ink that one. Okay, and then get my paper clip. Inside we'll have the long piece. The short piece goes to the outside. And again, I'm going to put my 3-in-1 glue on here. And you can see I do that pretty generously over the paper clip. I just want to be sure that it's going to get glued down well. And then put my top on. And if I wasn't making a video, what I would probably do is clamp this for a little bit and let it dry. But for the purpose of the video, I'm moving on. Same thing, I use the same stamp and the same little splatter stamp. And then I emboss this one with Tim Holtz embossing glaze, and I believe this was the walnut stain. Okay, for this one I am going to, I've already sewed my button and everything on it. I just wanted to do one so you saw the entire process. I'm using this little brown fabric here, brown and beigey looking fabric, and this cool brown and kind of cream colored button. We're going to put that down first. Same process. In the middle. Okay, and then for this little nest, I kind of already have it. No, I'm wrong. That's for the other version. I about stole out of the wrong one, and then I had to start all over. That one. Okay. So we got our cheesecloth. This one we'll use the brown thread. These are actually vintage threads. They're on wooden spools, and I love them because I think the thread is so much better than what we can get nowadays. I don't know why, but it just sews so much better. Not that I'm an expert on sewing by any means, but okay, so I'm making a little brown cluster this time. And then our butterfly that has the vintage photo around the edges. That's why I didn't want to use the black soot on this one, because it's brown, more browns. And let's do angle our butterfly this way this time. So there is the version on the file folder versus the version on the black cardstock. And now let's show you what the other one. Okay, this one is also a Tim Holtz die. It's a feather. It has two parts. It has a part that's solid like this, and it has a part that has the veining. And I did the same thing. I took a piece of white cardstock and, you know, made the 3 colors. And of course, since this is longer, I made the orange, you know, wider, to get the right proportion, or what I felt like was the right proportion for the candy corn. And then I just glued the pieces together, and then I just kind of rolled them up. I love this feather die. I also used it in a page that I was doing for my journal that I will show you. This is my lovely ledger journal that I got from Lorna at Tailor Made Journals, and I love it. And I think I had mentioned before, I'm not a journal person. Well, I'm not a writer when it comes to journaling. I do more pages or spreads that remind me of something, or something that I want to remember down the road. So this particular spread is based on the fact that I recently read Where the Crawdads Sing. And I don't know if you all are familiar, have read the book, or if you have seen the movie. But this is my page spread that I did for that particular book. It is a wonderful book. I have not seen the movie, so I can't give you a critique on it. But the book is absolutely wonderful. So this particular saying is from the book. And then this is the spread that I created to kind of represent the book. And you can see that I use the feather in the spread. And I won't spoil anything, but if you have read the book or seen the movie, you'll know what this feather means. And so it's just, you know, kind of me expressing, you know, how I felt about the book. And a lot of my spreads that are in this particular journal, that's what they're about. I'm not a writer. You know, I'm not going to sit down and say, well, today, this is what happened. So my journal is more based on events, or like I said, something that I want to remember. So that's how this came out. I was real happy with it. And, you know, I can look in here and say, oh, yeah, that was such a good book. And hopefully, when I do get to see the movie, I can say, oh, yeah, they did the book justice. But, you know, that's yet to be determined. But anyway, back to what we were doing. I just wanted to show you that feather die in a different color. So, feather die. Another, and you could do this on the black or on, again, you know, you could do it on the black or on this color. I only have one made up, so I'm going to do the brown one. And then, as I continue through, I'll do some more on, I'll do one on the black one at least, if not more. Okay. Totally off track there. Sorry about that. Ooh, look, squirrel. Alright, so we'll get this one inked up. And the reason I'm doing this one is I wanted to show you another option for going down the center. If you didn't want to use fabric, I've got a piece of ribbon over here that's really fall looking that I think will look really good as well. All right, do I have another paper clip? Yes, I'm about out of paper clips. Okay, here we go. Trying to stay focused. All right, big side in. And you can tell a front and a back on these cards. When you cut them, you can tell which side is the finished side. That's why I keep flipping it over. It's much flatter on the back side than it is on the other side. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can definitely tell a front and a back. And you don't have to use a die to cut your cards. I mean, you can very easily, you know, just cut some rectangles in around the corners. Which would work just fine as well. Okay, so we'll glue this one down. All right, and then the other option that I had was I found this ribbon, which I thought was a really pretty fall kind of plaid. And you could use that to go down the center as well. And you could do even two if you wanted. If you wanted to use, you know, a double, something like that, you could do that. And actually what I may do is I may take a piece, let's see what this looks like. If I take a piece of this just plain kind of muslin fabric. No, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. Fray my edges here just a little bit. And then I took this ribbon, put that down the center. I think I'm gonna cut it just a little bit shorter. I'm not sure if this will fray or not. Yep, it will. Give that a little fraying up. And of course you could do, you know, little points or an angle or whatever. I just preferred the frayed look. So we could do that. And then I've got a couple of choices over here. I have another one of these little buttons. I think those buttons are just adorable. Or I've got kind of a beigey color if you wanted to do something that wasn't as distracting. Or I've got this big brown one, which would also be cute. Or you could do an orange. Let's lay it here and see what we like. I really like these. I think I'm going to use that one. Alright, so let's put that on there real quick. And I don't know why I say, let's put that on there real quick, because I'm not real quick at sewing. Oops. I'm the exact opposite of real quick at sewing. Okay. Put our glue on here and glue it down the center. I'm not going to glue the ribbon to the muslin, because I think it'll probably get glued down along the way anyway by the time we build our little nest and all that kind of stuff. All right, so there's that part. Got glue on my table. All right, and then I'm gonna lay the feather like this. And I've also got this leaf that I'm gonna put on this one. And I've got my little bundle of thread and cheesecloth. Oh, everything's sticking to my fingers. All right, so if I put my leaf kind of angled, I mean my feather, oh, it's one thing about 3-in-1 glue is you get it on your fingers and everything sticks to you. Okay. Now, I think something like that. And this leaf, I'll show you in just a second when I get this glued down. This leaf is actually a ribbon. It comes like this. And, you know, you can use them like this, or you can cut them apart. And usually I just cut them apart. And I'm thinking I might put another one, to be honest. So, if I cut it. And I just kind of make a little indent there to make it look, you know, like a leaf. And they're really pretty because they have like an orangey, I'm sure that's not showing up, but an orangey metallic, copper kind of metallic thread. I can't get my top off my glue now. Okay. So there is that version, and you could add, you know, a sentiment or something if you wanted to. I don't know if I have anything that's appropriate for fall. Let's see. I'm not really seeing anything right off the bat. I might find something later to put there. Or you could do like a little label if you wanted to do that too. Or a number. Whatever. If you wanted to do, you know, something down here. Which I think it does need something down there. But I just don't know where are. I think that little bird would be cute. Just something, a little something to finish it off. You could also, if you wanted, put a little paper doll or something. I don't have a label in there that'll work. Like if you wanted to put, you know, you'd have to leave your feather flatter, but you could put, you know, do something like that if you wanted. And actually, this girl would look really good on a black one. Like if we did the black one. With a feather. And then put her on there. She'd look really good. So that's another option you could do as one of your paper dolls. You could also, I found these little buttons. And you could, you know, hang those from the top with a ball pen if you wanted to do that. So there's lots of options for these for making them look cute. And I really want a number to put underneath that. I do. I don't think there was a number in here at all, though. They're in my other little tin. I would like that if it wasn't so long. What's this? Nothing. It is nothing. No, wrong color. There's a little bitty number that might work. This also might work. All right, let's see what we can do with those. So if I put this there, and that there, and put a number on this, which I think I have my stamps over here, I think I will be happy with it, maybe. Do you ever get like that? You get something in your mind and you're like bound and determined that you're going to find what you're looking for. Which is fine unless you're making a video, and then you really shouldn't do that, but you know. Okay, I'm gonna get, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done, I promise. I just put some foam tape on the back of that. Now I'm gonna struggle for, oh, it came off easy. I was gonna say I'm gonna struggle for the next 30 minutes getting the back off. All right. much happier with that. Let's move my stuff out of the way so that you can see. So we have that. There's our two brown and tan versions. And here are our two black versions. And see, now that makes me want to do something there because I really like the way that looks. So don't be surprised when you see the photo at the end that I didn't go back and do some kind of label or something on the others, because I think that turned out really cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you'll go make something, and even if it's for a few minutes, because I seriously believe that crafting is good for our mental health. So I will see you guys on Tuesday for Marguerite Miller. Until then, everybody stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.